Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Okay, today we are tapping in to kind of like a message from your future self. I was sitting down trying to think about what I felt like was coming through, and I've been doing a lot of like readings for the collective around divine feminine energy, and we have a new moon coming up, and the theme of trust has been coming up so much in our like daily card pulls and stuff. And so I wanted to just take a minute and like take a dedicated video to really dig into that for those of you that has been really resonating with. And so I'm kind of channeling this as it feels like at first I was like, is it like a message from like your inner goddess or like your higher self? But it doesn't even feel that separate. It feels like your future self, like the potentiality almost is like wanting to connect and come through and kind of hopefully bring you some answers. So if you felt called to this video, this message is for you whenever you're seeing it. There's no timeline or anything like that. It really is just hopefully going to give you a glimpse into what to look forward to, how to harness your own energy to be able to connect with that in an authentic and clear way. You know, those are the kind of the vibes. So let's just jump in. I have no questions prepped. Like I'm just very in it right now. So, okay. What do we want to, what is the main message that, for this collective that's watching, that's wanting to come through? Ooh. Nine of Swords with the Queen of Swords with the Two of Swords. A lot of you are really like stressing and overthinking and over complicating a lot of things about why isn't something happening? Why aren't you seeing change? You don't know how to move forward, where to move forward, if you should move forward. And I feel like what is coming through is this energy of like, you have to decide. It's up to you to decide, not just how you move forward, but like, I think some of you are in a little bit of like denial almost, or like, focusing on the things that aren't important. You're focusing on the details that maybe don't matter or aren't adding anything, and it's time for you to kind of move on from that mindset. And so what is the way that we can go about releasing this hesitation, I guess, is kind of what it is feeling like. How can we release the hesitation? Ooh. Okay. Three of Swords, 10 of Pentacles. So there's obviously some healing. I almost feel like because again, this is a collective reading, so this is going to hit a little differently for some of you. I'm getting that like this hesitation, this denial for some of you almost of like how good it can be, or that it should be better, or that you're deserving of more, right? Is almost like, I think we've maybe taken on a lot of belief systems that aren't ours. And so the way to move forward is to reflect on like, what do you actually believe to be true? What is the story that you would like to choose to tell yourself? I feel like a lot of you are meant to be the pattern breakers, but you have to believe that to be true. There's a huge turtle outside my window right now. Turtle. Okay. I want to ask a little bit more about that. Are these learned patterns around any specific themes? Oof, right away. Ace of Cups, Queen of Cups, Princess of Pentacles. I think a lot of you are having a lot of resignation around like doing things differently. I think maybe you're surrounded by people who do the same kind of things, whether that's like, it doesn't have to mean like different words. It doesn't have to mean that you're in the same field as everyone around you, right? The example that I'm kind of feeling, maybe it is for some of you, like everybody that I know back home. I'm from a very small town. I don't live where I grew up, but everybody back home, like everyone's a nurse, right? It's like that kind of vibe. My mom was a nurse. My grandmother was a nurse. My sister was in nursing. I have friends who are nurses. Like that is just kind of one of those things. And you would be the one to choose to do things differently. I really hope this is resonating for some of you. I always try not to like share my own personal examples and experiences. What this is more so feeling like is the deservingness of like being able to do things differently, maybe want a little bit more out of your life. Especially with the Ace of Cups, like choosing something different, choosing something that maybe is more emotionally fulfilling, choosing something that feels very connected to your soul is maybe not how everybody around you goes about it. Maybe there's more practicality and safety and pattern and routine and comfort. You are supposed to be choosing a path for you. And I also think that this is for some of you going to require to learn some new things, and maybe that is adding to the hesitation because that feels like a commitment. You know what I mean? Like it feels like, what if it doesn't work? What if it's, I only want to do this for a couple of years? Or what if it isn't sustainable? Like there's this hesitation from the commitment aspect. But you're supposed to be doing something that's a little bit unique, a little bit different, very you, very like, this makes sense for you. The people around you who know you very deeply will be like, that is so you. And it's going to be something that is very fulfilling. So if you're not feeling fulfilled by, for some reason, I'm really getting like, this is very career focused and like how you show up and how you kind of serve, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's kind of like aligned in, okay, let's see. Let's ask about, what is it supposed to feel like to you? I'm going to give you some examples here. Okay, Queen of Pentacles popped out. Three of Pentacles. Four of Wands. Ooh, for some of you, this is something that is going to take you out of your head and into your body. This is a physical thing. Also, it's about you being seen. It's about you feeling stable and rewarded for the work that you do and provide and how you're showing up and the service you're providing. I'm feeling the need to bring up like human design because I think that is something that I never talk about anymore. If you're not sure about what your human design is, I would encourage you to just explore that a little bit and how your energy centers kind of operate naturally or want to operate naturally, because I think that in and of itself could help you at least with like a little bit of direction. I also think I'm going to make a video about my character web that I make all of my clients, like my mentorship clients do, because I think that could be a good tool resource. But you're supposed to be like in the spotlight a little bit. Like you're supposed to be the face. You're supposed to be showing up and being seen. I feel like some of you maybe you're in more of like a backlog kind of admin situation, and you're not. You're supposed to be doing something that is yours. For some of you, this is going to be like being self-employed literally. But for others, it's like it's something that is so inherently you. It's in your essence, and it's going to bring you guys so much peace. Like I cannot express to you I feel like this is a milestone that we're like working up to, like this turning point that you're feeling, this change, this itch that you have, especially like numerologically. If you're watching this in 2026, like we're in a 1 year, like this is the time for this energy to be coming up. So I want to just validate you so that you can honor that, like this is, you just need to decide to make the change, and you are going to be so supported through that. Okay, I might come back to the tarot, but for now, I want to see if your spirit guides want to bring anything through, or if your future self wants to bring anything through the spirit guide messages. Wow. Okay, all of these cards have the same color story. That is, I love when they do this. Okay. Tune into your wisdom. Your gifts are needed in this world. Courageously be still. You need to sit with yourself and let the answers come through, because I think, again, this feels more like an avoidance and less of a I just don't know what to do, and more of a I'm so busy and I'm keeping myself busy so I don't have to deal with it. I'm not scratching the itch, because once I do, I'm going to have to make change. You already know what to do, but if you can sit with yourself, if you can meditate on it, if you ask for the answers are going to come through. You just need to tune into yourself. But your gifts are needed in this world. I don't even know how to expand on that, because like it literally is, and that's what I've been saying. Like it just feels like you have something to provide. You have something to offer. Whether, again, this is a self-employment thing, this is you sharing openly. You know, we live in a world of social media, and like if you're just hiding behind the curtains, you're withholding your gifts, and it feels like a lot of you, by doing that, you're not really authentically living in your purpose. Let's see what embodiment can look like for some of you with the Goddess cards. Let's see. Quiet time, inner goddess, guiding children, which is interesting. Okay, quiet time feels like what we were just talking about with meditation. You know, taking time to contemplate and allow the messages to come in. Allow yourself to hear your own thoughts and desires. If you have not taken the time to tune into yourself like that in a while, you're definitely overdue. And then the inner goddess card feels like you have access to this version of you all the time. It's up to you to tap in. Again, I think a lot of you getting out of your head and into your body, moving, dancing, working out, going for a walk, connecting with nature, doing things that feel playful and creative and expressive, tapping into that core essence of yourself. The spirit guide cards were all purples, oranges, and blues. There's a little bit of pink in there as well. Purples, oranges, and blues are, blue is going to your throat chakra, okay? Authenticity, speaking your truth. Orange is that sacral energy. So this is our creative energy, sexual energy, that very pure essence of ourself and sense of self and expression. And then with the purple, like kind of third eye crown chakra-y combo, it's like listening and having access and connecting to the universe, yourself, your higher self, whatever it may be, but receiving that information. And so I feel like it's just this culmination of freeing yourself, releasing yourself. You don't need to hold yourself back. You don't need to make yourself small, but there is a little bit of fear and hesitation. And so some of you are meant to be sharing, because especially with this guiding children card, it doesn't always have to necessarily be about children directly, right? It can be about being an example for others, healing others, using your skills to help others, to share with others, to counsel others. But you can't, people can't heal from information you're providing. People can't learn. People can't hear you if you're not speaking, if you're not sharing, if you're not expressing. And you certainly aren't going to be sharing or expressing if you're not even admitting to yourself what you're wanting out of the situation. So let me see. I think we're going to do an oracle message. Actually, let me see if we can pull some affirmations also. And okay, we're grabbing all the decks, guys. I'm going to do a Threads of Fate card first. Let's see, what does the future self of anyone in the collective watching this need to hear? Self-love. Love yourself enough to make these choices, to decide that you're worthy and that you deserve to show up in this way. What else do we need to hear? Ancestors. We got this in one of the most recent collective pulls as well. You're so guided, and like, again, especially with the ancestors coming up with the 10 of Pentacles that we had earlier. You're healing for yourself, but you're also healing for the people to come after you and the people that came before you. And you're not meant to take that lightly. 1616. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Let's do one more. Okay, well, that's two more. Okay, we have the Death and we have Reclaim. This is a renewal. This isn't going to be, I was going to say like pretty. It doesn't have to be messy. But you are connecting to such a carnal energy within yourself. You're connecting to such an essence of yourself that maybe you haven't connected to either ever or in a really long time. And so it's going to feel, oh, interesting. This is the bottom of the deck is the Soul Work card. Okay. This is very dramatic. I'm not going to lie, guys. You need to love yourself enough to make these choices. You need to honor yourself enough to make these choices. You need to make these choices. You need to decide. You need to move forward. You got to get the let out, you know? Like, that's kind of honestly what they're giving me is like, it's time. Your work is needed for yourself. Yeah, but you're meant to be serving. You're meant to be ripple effect. Like, you are meant to be creating waves and making waves and affecting people and affecting the collective, whether it's with your spiritual gifts, whether it's with emotional support, whether it's from just sharing and teaching and guiding others. But you have to, it's such an authentic energy to you. You need to allow yourself to access that. Is there an affirmation that wants to come out? Yes, there is. And it is, I am in control of my life. That's perfect. Okay. I am in control of my life. Again, getting out of your head and into your body. I think a lot of you, the nervous system could be healed. Please comment below if you want to see some tapping videos from me. I've only done them on shorts. But I would love to create a resource for you here if you're interested in that. But honestly, meditate. I feel like if you can just meditate for 5 minutes, even if it's just sitting in the quiet, doing like a body scan, taking some deep breaths, I feel like you'll be really surprised with the information that tries to come through just in that way. Okay. Last messages from the future self of whoever's watching this. Ooh. Okay. Oh, do I have the book for this here? Because I would love to read this. Oh, it's right here. Okay. We got the Gentle Drift card. The theme of this says there's no need to rush, go with the flow, and trust. And so this feels like just there needs to be forward motion. You need to trust the decisions that you're making, but you've got to keep going. Like, this is not a time for you to be at a stalemate. This is not the time for you to, I don't know, like almost like you don't need to be stuck. Like this is a time, even if you're just going with the flow enough to be, oh, a mockingbird just flew by. Okay. Even if you're just going with the flow enough for you to not be stagnant. That is the thing that I'm feeling. For some of you, again, this is going to be very physical. So if you have not moved your body, if you have not left your house, if you're not in a routine of movement in some way, that could be very prominent as well. But it doesn't have to be like, okay, now this is just who I am. Like you're not being asked to transform overnight, and you're also not being asked to do anything that is not authentic and natural to you. So pay attention to that. Themes for this card: there's no need to rush, go with the flow, trust the journey, and slowing down. I think that the reason that a lot of you guys are feeling stuck is because you're trying to go so fast that you're not hearing the information that's trying to come through for you to give you confirmation or validation or just direction for your next steps. So you might be feeling like you're making forward progress, but you might be going in circles. Okay, affirmations for this card are: I can trust the timing of this situation, and I can always move at a gentle pace. Okay, this message says you're being called to follow your own peaceful drift. Let the thundering currents slow down to a gentle trickle. Moving at a slower pace is often necessary for learning and building something truly meaningful over time. There is a delicate balance between pausing and pushing forward that must be maintained to find our deepest fulfillment. We cannot always be plugged in or force our strides. Sometimes we simply need to return to our natural state of being. Don't lose sight of the clarity of your own horizon line. There is so much magic growing there, and you can always gently drift along its luminous waters. If you guys would like to journal, this card's journal prompt is: how and where am I being encouraged to slow down? So reflect on this, take some time to connect, but it is time for you to choose yourself. It is time for you to choose the thing that feels like it's for you, the thing that is fulfilling, the thing that makes you light up. And how can you move forward with that? It doesn't need to be perfect overnight, right? It just needs to be revealed to you. You need to accept it. You need to admit it to yourself and then make a plan. And I'm here for you along the way. So that is what I have for you for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.